Welcome in, folks. Nick Wilson, Clint Thompson, and David Murphree back here for another episode of Talk or Go Home. It's been a while since we've recorded. It's only been 1 week since you've listened to the latest episode of Triple Threat, and 2 weeks since you've listened to the latest episode of Talk or Go Home. But it's been a long time for us. I don't know if I know I look different from the last episode because my hair's a lot shorter and I don't have any facial hair. Well, I don't have a mustache.
Okay, there you go.
And you and I look incredibly tired. And David's
David.
in the saddle and riding.
Prime of my life.
Yeah.
Well rested.
How young are you?
I'm 51.
27.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm 51.
You're only a year and a half older than Thompson, than James.
Year and a half older than John. Yeah, but he looks like he's about 60.
Everybody says
Yeah, he's
the same
never going
thing.
to listen to this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We can call him out. Yeah, he's about to turn 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's your face? What's your regimen every morning? How do you keep the wrinkles away?
Never smiles.
What's your wrinkle cream?
I don't have any.
You don't use a wrinkle cream?
Emu oil when I need it. On stuff.
Are you
The blue kind?
No,
Oh.
good. I get the good stuff.
That's
Okay.
$127 for
Oh,
like
it's pretty
8
expensive.
ounces.
They're like 32 ounces, like 100. I don't know, 130 something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It lasts a long time. I shave every morning, but other than that, nothing.
I think we've covered this. Do you shave in the shower?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we have talked about this.
Have we not?
Do you shave in the shower?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Well, we've talked about this.
Have we?
Yeah, because I talked about
I
missing
don't-
a spot that one day. Because I missed a spot, and I'm sitting there doing this on air because I missed the spot.
No,
I
now
don't
I
remember
did
that
get
conversation.
some hand lotion from another teacher this morning because my cheeks were a little red,
Yeah.
so I went and put a little on my cheeks. But other than
What
that,
teacher?
my next door neighbor, but
Shireen Marino.
well, you could probably figure out who it is, but
It was Shireen
'cause
Marino.
I was all out,
It's for his crow's feet.
so. But I did do that this morning because my cheeks were a little red, and another teacher even noticed it. Hey, you're a little puffy and red. So
He came by and visited me this morning and was like, hey,
Man,
you ready?
when y'all tell stories about y'all seeing each other in the morning, y'all, doing your normal morning stuff,
Yeah.
it makes me like really wish I was here in the mornits.
No.
it's really not
you're-
that big of a deal. What did we talk about this morning?
You came into my classroom and said, hey, what about that? What about what happened last night?
Oh, okay, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And
But then what else did we talk about? We talked about something else.
Well, I tried to get up a group this morning to take Friday off on the 16th, and us all go to Auburn to see Jason Isbell on Thursday night. You were going to get
That's
a
what it
ticket.
was.
We want you to get tickets.
I was gonna
You're
get
not
y'all
gonna be able to
tickets.
go.
Yeah, because we've got
Yeah, I was trying to get a group to.
practice next Thursday.
I was trying to get a group up to do that.
Well, and I just realized I've got a ring ceremony next Thursday afternoon, too, for the wrestling rings. Oh, man, I just realized I ain't
My
got
right
a-
arm is tingling, and I don't know why.
You probably need
It's
to put
a-
some emu oil on there.
Probably so. Is it the left arm that signifies a heart attack, or is it the right?
I think it depends on your body.
Well, if I pass out, just keep going.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay.
You good? Did it pass?
No, it's still there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, it'll pass. Maybe eventually.
Or not.
Does one leg? Speaking of that, when you sit on the toilet for an extended period of time,
Both legs go
which-
dead.
At the same time,
Yep.
my right one goes dead first. Then it's my left one.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's my right one. It's always my right one first.
How do you solve that? Do you stand up and just stand in place
So
until the blood
that-
comes
so
back?
today-
Because I can't walk. Like
today,
it
'cause I didn't wanna be
physically
in-
hurts me
Today,
to walk.
because I didn't want to be in here with the interns, I went and just sat on the toilet for about 30 minutes. But so I kind of lifted myself and I kind of like, boom, I was like this. I kept my left cheek on the seat and my right cheek up. So I held myself like this for about 10
Now,
minutes.
if you stand up, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah.
my knees have
I'll,
buckled.
I'll stand up, but I'll stand there. Like, because if I take the
Yeah.
step, it's at that shooting pain
yeah.
going up.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Now, we've been
bad.
watching Bathroom Tech in class.
What?
And Bathroom Tech. It's on from the History Channel. It's the most amazing
Yeah.
documentary ever. We've been watching that in class.
What is bathroom
It
tech?
covers everything. Toilets.
Tech in
and
the bathroom.
toilet
Bathroom
paper,
tech.
toothbrushes, everything. Why there's no left-handed people in the Middle East. Why the man walks on the inside of the woman next to a building because of the chamber pots being thrown out the windows and stuff. The House of Versailles didn't have any restrooms in there, and they'd have 2,000 people at a party. And
in the hallway.
yeah, they go to the restroom
Perfume.
in the hall. But I got a question though.
Stairwell,
Why,
sorry.
why are y'all okay? You're sitting on a toilet that long. You're legs go slow. What are you doing? Besides
TikTok.
Okay.
I know what he's doing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm on TikTok.
I'm on Twitter.
Jonathan
usually.
Mincy, hold on.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm
What
about
did
to get rid of my
Jonathan Mincy
Twitter.
just say?
I can't work Twitter. I'm about to get rid of that.
How
Now,
many-
I do have a TV right in front of my toilet.
Do you
I
really?
do that. Yeah, it's on
That's
the wall.
Awesome. That is awesome.
You have wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm reading.
What's
Mincy just texted me about the House of the Dragon.
So, so Carrie has a term, and I can't say it here. I could probably say it on. It rhymes with Twitter, and it talks about being on the toilet.
Yeah.
So that's what we call it. We call it, or she calls it, because that's usually what I'm on when I'm on
Yeah,
the toilet.
I pressed out those letters when I was Eufaula in the teacher workroom, the Twitter. I pressed them out, and I taped them to Coach Prope's bathroom door
All right.
down there at Eufaula. That just came to my mind for some reason. Yeah, I got TV.
Twitter.
Why have we not heard that story?
Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Twitter.
Yeah, I got a TV. It's a good place to watch news in the morning.
Now, is that where do you have a folder or a shelf for all your free dump pass?
No,
passes that
they
you save up, or-
they changed the name of that instead of
Yeah,
one
it's not a
free
dump,
dump.
yeah.
It's something like one free pass.
One free.
Yes, one free pass
Yeah.
to the. I guess cause people
To the landfill
yeah,
pass.
landfill pass. It don't say dump pass anymore. One free
One
dump. No, But
Dang.
I guess
man.
it's cause of that. People were
making jokes out of
yeah.
it.
I guess
How
so.
dare those people make
know,
jokes
one free
about
dump.
Who would
dumps?
do that?
Whoever.
Who would go on their podcast and make a joke about that? And then
Because
send
everybody has a
and then
podcast.
send a picture of it to their co-hosts one day randomly on the top of his toilet seat.
Yep.
Yeah, who would do that? But
I knew a guy that used to work with the county. He stole one of those no dumping signs and put
Yeah.
it over the back of his toilet.
Classy move right there.
Real
Instead of a
classy, Clark.
Small.
Yeah, it's the big
3x5.
one,
The big
yeah.
yeah, that's what you want right there.
Yep.
hey, if we
I
ever
think his
build a new
wife loved it.
studio, we need to have it up in the background.
And then exit
No
only
dump.
on the other
Yeah,
side.
exit only.
Exit only, no
Exit
dumping.
only. Exit only and no dumping. Oh man,
That's an
'Cause the show
oxymoron.
is
Because
a-
that whole
a
thing's
high-
an oxymoron. No dumping,
Yeah.
but exit only. Woo.
yeah. Well, I mean, no dumping.
No coming, no going. Goodness.
Yeah, I don't. Do you? Have you ever
Be careful now.
spent an extended period of time on a toilet so that your legs go numb? You didn't answer that question.
I don't think I have.
Reading a newspaper? I
I
used to do it. Read a newspaper back when
no.
I was
Well, maybe
You know
growing
what's-
up in the 70s.
you could have just used the newspaper instead of toilet paper. That's in that film. Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
Before
when-
the glossy
Before the
paper
glossy,
come out.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
they
that.
talked
It
about
was that
that.
rough.
Talked about
No.
corn cobs in there too.
Yeah.
Mm.
That one of the selling points of the first toilet paper was they put on the package, it's splinter free, and that's what you want right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Splinter free toilet paper. That's
Yeah,
one
it is.
like the Scott brothers or something.
Do y'all ever like forget your phone when you go to the bathroom and like you
Yeah.
find yourself reading like the shampoo bottle or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start reading like what all Lysol kills, what bacteria
I'll
and stuff it
stand in the
kills.
shower with the hot water running down my back,
Now this got weird.
and I'll like go down a Wikipedia article holes.
In the shower. In the
In the
shower. with
shower?
your phone.
Yeah.
You hold on. Well, all right.
It's water resistant.
Okay. Well, hold on.
Right.
Here's a new admission from Clint Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay. I have gotten to the point because I don't really watch the news or the
Yeah.
weather or anything. I've gotten to where I will take my phone into the shower and put it on YouTube TV on my phone. Not a sponsor. And set it on the base of the shower at the
Yeah.
top and turn the volume up and listen to the weather while I'm in the shower.
That is
I've
such a
just started
middle-aged
doing it.
man thing.
I know.
Like
Somebody
listen
said
to
something.
the weather in the shower.
Yeah, somebody like it's like a millennial old man thing. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, get your New Balance 591s or whatever those things are, and go cut the grass. Or
Well,
something.
these are Under Armour, not a sponsor. But yeah, I'm out there.
Go shock yourself with a 240 freaking as
Yeah.
you're working on your whale.
Yeah, I just turned my TV
I
up
ain't
to
paying
100.
no water bills.
I know I'm not watching any news for the next 9 days because all it's going to be just Queen.
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 Queen
It's a
stuff.
great
From
rock
England.
band. Oh, okay.
Queen Elizabeth
That's just
II.
going to be all Queen.
Dang-o.
Yeah, apparently, like the BBC has to, they canceled all comedies and
Everything's serious now.
yeah, and they're
I
all
just-
wearing black and
I just don't want to watch it. I'm just not into the royal family. I just
You
don't
know,
wanna watch
I'm not either. Hey, 1776, we broke away from that crap. We ain't looked back. But I will say this: coincidentally, the night that Princess Diana got killed, for whatever reason, I was up. Like, I saw that break live. It was like 2 a.m. I was probably in the 7th grade, maybe, whenever that happened.
Yeah, I remember that. I watched that pretty close. But I guess why I just don't have a disdain for the royal family is like in the 80s when they got married.
Yeah.
Charles and Diana, that was,
big news.
It was all week long.
Yep.
And I had to watch that. And I didn't care nothing about it. They
I
got married and everything. Well, early 80s probably when that happened.
yeah, I think you're right. I appreciate it from I think it was 83. I appreciate it from the perspective of, her, because I mean she's the last head of state that served in World War II. You think about all the history that she's seen and her family has created, and like the great thing about her, and somebody put it best, it's not the monarchy, it's not the British government, it's her personally, is that she's been apolitical, publicly anyway, and has always kind of stood for the moral high ground, so to speak. And you got to respect that. And even as an American, as somebody that doesn't, like, we don't have royalty here, we're not a part of the Commonwealth, I do feel a kindred spirit to her because of the special relationship our country has with her country. And I mean, there's a lot of
she's just a
history there.
figurehead, though. I mean, you're the queen of this, but the prime minister basically runs it.
Now I heard them say this on the news last night. I never thought about this. That she could have run for prime minister,
Technically, yeah,
and she would have won
right,
if she'd wanted to.
yeah.
But she died just the right time because I'm on the monarch chapter in world history.
That's perfect.
Just perfect
Yeah.
timing. Yeah.
The Crown's a really good show
Yeah,
on Netflix. I mean, that's have you seen it?
No, I'm not going to
It's
watch
really good. It's from a historical perspective. It's great.
well,
somebody
I
watch
wanted
it.
to say real quick that we've talked about some of the oh gosh, what are those? Who produces that podcast? The Short History of
Noiser.
the Noiser podcast, Short History.
They
of.
just re-released that episode today.
Did they? Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I've actually listened to that, and it's probably, I think it might even be a 2-part episode
is,
or
it's
like
a two-parter.
okay. It's a very long episode, and it goes into her whole spiel, how she got into it, and how her father died, and all that, and it's a really good listen. So for you history buffs out there, wink, wink, nudge,
Yeah.
nudge.
And another thing about her personally, I think that's really cool, is like she never saw herself as above anybody else.
No, she was kind of the people's queen.
Yeah.
yeah.
There was this story about this great sense of humor, like really down to earth. And one of her bodyguards, he'd been retired, and they were interviewing him on the BBC or something, and he told this story, and he's like, it's my favorite story to tell. But she was up at Balmoral, which is one of her favorite places to go. And they were walking around the grounds on the property of the Balmoral estate, castle estate in Scotland, and it's just her and him, just them two. And these two Americans walk up, and they're like, hey, yeah, we're here on vacation, what they call on holiday.
I hate that, by
I
the
do
way.
too. And university. Anyway, and hospital. They forget their articles, man. Just say the. Hey, you may want to. That's the second time that's happened.
What did you do?
Is it plugged in?
Should be.
Nope, it's not. There's the plug down there. Down there.
All right, so what happened?
Oh, yeah, back to my story about.
These
Two Americans walk up, and so they're talking about, and they kind of meet each other on this trail, and they're talking, and they're like, yeah, we're on holiday, we're on vacation, and we're enjoying the scenery, enjoying Scotland, enjoying walking around, and hey, did you know, have y'all ever seen the Queen? Because the Queen, she's got Balmoral that she vacations at nearby. Have y'all ever seen the Queen? I mean, is it that complicated?
Yeah.
It's on this side over here. Okay. It's like of the light. Okay. Yep. Up there.
Something.
He's not tall enough. Hold on. He's going.
No. The one that matters right now is he's not smart enough.
Yeah. Okay. Turn it on. Is it plugged in?
Smugness. That is not a good quality. Hey, did they didn't know it was
anyway.
Queen, huh?
No. They're sitting there talking to the Queen. So like, hey, did you see the Queen? Have y'all seen the Queen? And
She plays along with
the queen goes, well, I haven't seen her, but and I forget the guy's name, but her bodyguard, he's seen her quite. He sees her quite often. And the guy's like, yeah, and the two Americans go, they go, so what's she like? What's the queen like? And he goes, well, she's got a great sense of humor, but she can be a little cantankerous. And then, they have a good laugh. And so they're so enamored by this guy that they think has seen and met the queen on numerous occasions that they're like, they get out their camera and they hand the camera to the queen and say, hey, can you take a picture of us and this guy? And so the queen takes a picture of them. And
That's hilarious.
now they did get a picture with her, but they never knew the whole time. She never let on. They never knew.
So that reminds me, not Queen related, but that reminds me Bobby Heenan. You remember Bobby the Brain Heenan?
Bobby the Brain, yeah.
He would used to go out and, my goodness, can we get the light on?
My best, man.
Oh, my gosh. Go help them.
Now, Bobby the Brain Heenan, he was the manager for who?
Well, the Heenan family, but he was there with Andre the Giant when Andre the Giant went heel against Hogan and just all kinds of people. He was always the heel manager.
Yeah.
Anyway, he would be known to go out and people would be, touring wherever he was at, and they say, hey, will you take our picture? He'd go, yeah, sure, absolutely. So he'd take the picture, and he'd, take a picture of their forehead, on purpose. He would take the worst pictures. The stories about him doing that are hilarious.
Bobby the Brain.
Bobby
I
the
remember
Brain.
him real good.
Wow, guys, even Nick can't figure this out now.
Well,
Hey! Sorry, I didn't mean to yell in everybody's ear.
yeah, wrestling, that was really good during that time period.
Very good.
Pretty good. Bobby the Brain. He was manager for Andre, you said?
Yeah, when Andre went heel.
That's not who I remember him being.
Oh, he
with.
was
I
with a
can't
bunch
remember.
of people. I can't remember who all he was with, though. Slick was a good manager, too. And who was the Japanese cat? Mr. Fuji.
Hideki Tojo.
No, Mr. Fuji, but he did look like Hideki Tojo.
Hideki Tojo.
Yeah.
Did he wear the round glasses?
Yeah.
No way!
And a little hat. He kind of who was the bad guy from the James Bond films that wore the hat and threw it?
Oh, that guy went to prison.
Yeah.
He killed a guy.
Yeah.
Not
with a hat.
The actor.
Right.
He killed a guy. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Hey, I don't want to
Top
get
hat?
off.
Sir Topham Hat? No, that's
You just went Thomas the Train.
Thomas the Train. That's Thomas.
Sir Topham Hat killed someone. Thomas, get Sir Topham Hat out of you right now.
That's Thomas the Train.
Percy. I don't know.
Alec Baldwin, man. You remember that movie where the little Indian, the Native American man in this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Just stop.
The island of Sodor. You know what?
No, I have no idea.
Island of Misfit Toys. What were you gonna say, Gary Coach?
No, well, just the top 4 tag teams. But go ahead.
Oh,
I don't want to get off on.
Yeah,
the
we'll do
wrestling
it
kick.
another time.
Yeah. What were we talking about before? The Queen?
Queen.
Oh, yeah. Great sense of humor. Great sense of humor.
Well, she had. Not anymore.
Well, yeah. Right, yeah. I mean, I thought that was funny.
They did think it was funny.
But yeah, I mean, she's pretty. I mean, okay.
Okay.
She's
It was a
she's
true
pretty-
statement. It's a past tense statement.
she's awesome though. The Crown, that's not my recommendation. I think I've actually recommended.
have
it before,
recommended it, I
but
thought.
I do recommend you go watch that. They're working on season 6 right now, and they actually paused it. They paused
To film her death.
production of it, and then they're going to pause it on the day of her funeral too. So
Okay. Cool story, bro.
Dimebag Darrell died in 2004. I didn't know when you brought that up on a podcast. I didn't know who that was. I had to look it up. I didn't know who Dimebag Darrell was.
when did he bring that up?
On podcast or something. I
Oh, it was a
don't. No,
text
you
message.
said it on a podcast. I had to look it up. So he was a guitarist. I didn't know nothing about it.
Dimebag
Got shot.
Daryl?
Somebody shot him on stage, right?
Why
didn't-
did they call him Dimebag Daryl?
We ain't getting into that.
We
ain't getting into that.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody shot him, killed him
Yep.
too.
Dimebag Daryl?
I didn't know him.
Oh gosh, almighty.
When did you mention that?
Zing. It's on a podcast.
I don't think it was a
Why-
podcast.
Yeah, it was. It's wild. It may have been a triple threat. I don't know. Dimebag Daryl. Yeah, I had to look that up. I didn't know who that was.
We keep saying his name. Not a sponsor. I don't know. I mean, I don't
It was,
know.
it was a nickname. His name
Yeah,
was
but-
Daryl.
Well, evidently,
Call him
Daryl.
Daryl.
evidently, he was a real good guitarist.
He was.
Who did he guitar for?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He was good though.
He was a good one.
He was
Aaron,
like-
do you know Dimebag Daryl? I have no idea. Okay. Well, Aaron's a guitar guy.
Yeah, our resident guitar guy. They got these great and wonderful things called smartphones. We could probably use them,
Right.
Mister.
It'd take me forever to find. It took me forever to. Takes me forever to look anything up.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I walked into class the other day and he was talking about how he had this dog collar situation.
I was talking about that in class.
No.
Oh.
But I mean, I just needed a segue.
Well, I got shocked.
Was
These
it
dog
anything like
collars.
a?
I
is
told
it-
my wife I wasn't supposed to put that around my neck. Thing.
Why?
not
Why
kidding.
did your wife?
He's not kidding.
No, we got puppies.
Okay.
Here's my shock. Like, we got puppies, and we got one of those
Wireless fences.
wireless fences
Gotcha.
with the collars and everything. So I worked on this thing
Well,
one weekend.
hold on. There's two different wireless fences.
We got the cheapest one.
So did you get
evidently.
the one where you? Did you get the one where you had to put it in the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because we've got one that's a wireless fence, and it's got a base and it puts out a radio signal, and
And
as
if it
long
goes
and
beyond-
if it goes beyond that signal,
Is it in the ground? You
No.
put this? Well, I need that one probably because I dug for 2 days. I spent 2 days on this. I didn't cut my grass or nothing. I just spent crawling around on the ground, putting it in the ground and everything. 2 days. Finally, on that second day. But before we put them on the dogs, I was making sure it worked. I was just going to take those two collars and walk close to it, see if it beat and everything. And it worked, but I touched them both at the same time and just threw those collars. Batteries flying, everything. But finally, we got them on the dogs after I've been working on this for 2 days. And, of course, I didn't read the instructions that you're supposed to
No.
take them around and show them, put the flags up and all that.
right?
So we just put them on the dogs, and there they go. They just run right through it, of course.
Right.
And I was so disgusted by that time. I probably yelled a few curse words.
What happened to the
Then
dogs?
I just went in the. I don't know.
They probably yelped and took off running.
I just went in the house. But one of
David
them.
getting mad at the wireless fence makes me think of Clark Griswold when the power won't come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But I think one of
Starts
them.
kicking the reindeer.
I was standing pretty close to where it was in the ground, and one of the dogs run back across to where I was, and it was just standing there. And just while it was standing there, it all of a sudden just jumped up. No, it finally it
Just yelped.
yeah.
So
it
it's
just
like
yelped.
so it's like you, the fence, and the dog. And the dog
Yeah.
runs up to the fence
Yeah.
and just looks at you like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing you can do about it."
And
And then, I spent all that time going around and cover it and everything, and then I finally cut the grass and evidently run over it and cut the wire.
no.
So it doesn't
Are you
work.
serious?
Yeah, so
You
it
didn't
doesn't,
tell me that part.
it doesn't work
Yeah.
now. So
Hey, I got a cool story. So apparently Clint doesn't like to wear Crocs.
I'm not a fan
Why?
because I have little tender feet.
Okay. All right. You got to elaborate.
All right, so
Carrie told me
so
to
I've
mention
never
this on the
had a pair
podcast.
of Crocs ever before, and my son's got them. Caitlin's
He wears
got
them every day.
Maze wears them every
By
day.
the way, Nate broke one today, but go ahead.
Well, that's a Maze problem, not a me problem. And Hammy wears them all the time.
Yeah.
So Carrie said, "Hey, I'm gonna get Clint some Crocs." I'm not a sandal guy. I don't wear flip flops or anything. It's usually tennis shoes or my work boots or nothing. Usually I have to have something on. We've had this discussion
Yeah.
on the Foot podcast that shall never be
That
talked
never
about.
aired. Yeah.
Anyway, so a new pair of Crocs on the bottom, like kind of where the heel and I guess the baby tender soft part of your foot is. It's got little nubs, I guess, just for a little bit of traction on them. I don't like it. It's like
Yeah,
I
hold
have
on.
very tender feet. Like I can't walk outside without shoes on.
So you never went barefooted as a kid or nothing?
I did,
You did.
but I didn't go. I didn't do it like out in the gravel. And it's always in the grass and all that. Like, and of course, as you get older, you don't really run outside with your feet with your shoes off or whatever. Now,
Okay. This is the text message I get on Wednesday, August 3rd at 9:38 p.m. TOGH fodder. Clint has his very first pair of Crocs. The little, quote, nubs on the footbed are too much for his delicate little feet.
I can't stand
He's
it.
something I'm not going to say on air. But yeah.
Meow.
So, yeah, she told me to bring that up.
Okay, well, congratulations. You brought it up. I have little soft baby feet.
Well, I mean,
How about this?
when you put it that way.
So, look,
I have little soft baby feet.
I have little soft baby feet, but you know what? My feet are softer than hers. Deal with it.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a statement. Is that a good
I love you. I don't know.
How, I mean, don't, like, you have a wide foot.
Yeah, I have a fat person. I have a Fred Flintstone foot.
Yeah. Good
Like,
for moving
it's short, and it's wide.
Yeah. Like, we've got to order you wide shoes.
Yeah.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you didn't.
Well, I mean, yeah. We don't order. We order shoes.
Yeah, but we
And
don't
then-
order them in wide.
Yeah, because yeah.
Yeah, because,
They don't come in wide.
So people that wear a size 9 shouldn't need a wide shoe.
yeah.
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 Size 9.
Size 9.
Anything else?
I just wanted to make sure we covered that.
Okay.
I don't have
Carries
any
it.
Crocs. I got a pair of sandals, Ocean Pacific sandals. I probably had for
I cannot
25 years.
pick. Well, okay. When you say sandals, do you mean flip flops or sandals?
Well, they're sandals. You clip them.
Oh, okay.
They're
How
not
long you
flip
had 'em?
flops? Probably 25 years. Like when people first started wearing those kind of sandals, I got a pair.
Do you ever get rid of anything?
Not a whole lot.
Have you ever worn flip flops?
But they're not with it. If they were worn out or tore up, I throw them away. But I mean, they're still good. I wear them when we go to the beach and all that kind of stuff. I wear
Have
them.
you ever worn a
Pool.
flip flop?
Yeah.
Hold on. What are those that got popular not too long ago? That
Chacos.
Chacos. Yeah.
Yeah, I still wear my Chacos.
Yeah. I've never worn Chacos.
Somebody called. Never mind.
Easy.
Yeah. I'm not a big flip flop guy.
I'll
wear 'em.
I'll wear them every so often, but I'd much rather be in my tennis shoes.
See, I'd much rather be in like my Crocs or Birkenstocks or something like that.
Yeah. 1997.
Birkenstocks have made a resurgence.
Yeah.
They're
1997
everywhere.
called.
Yeah. No, like I can remember when they were popular when I was young.
Mm-hmm. So can I.
You know, late '90s, early 2000s.
1997. I just said it 3 times.
What?
now.
Did you really?
Yes.
No way.
What?
But yeah. So
You just slip those on, right?
you just
They don't
flip
have
it.
a heel.
Yeah, it's just a
Well, they've
slip
got
on.
they got a sandal version, like a 2-strap sandal version, and they got
That's
like
what's
the
popular now.
enclosed like front, so it looks like you have a tennis
Yeah.
shoe on, but then it's open in the back, like a slipper.
It sort of almost looks like a leather clog,
Okay.
like a Dutch leather clog. Was that Dutch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dutch.
Because you know it's Birkenstock's a German. It's a German shoe,
Mhm.
made in Germany.
How about
Which is
that?
where-
Which is where like 4% of our listeners are.
3%. Yeah.
Ah.
Hey, hopefully it's 4%.
Hopefully.
Well, I don't know. Do we want to increase the?
You want to increase it?
I mean, I don't know.
Do you want to? I'll increase it right now.
Go ahead.
Germany, 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 Germany. Okay.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. We'll see if that works.
I don't have any flip flops presently. I mean, I would wear
You
some.
don't
I guess if
strike
I had
me
some.
as a beach guy though.
Well, I like going to the beach. I'll go.
I mean, you've talked about it before.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the what was that thing medicine he took over the counter? What was it called?
Azo.
Azo.
Azo
I
incident.
almost said Prosecco. That's a Paul
That's-
Hawk. That's
yeah.
Paul Hawk.
And not a medicine.
Well, the way he pronounces
Yeah.
it is a medication.
Prosecco.
I don't know what that's for. Prosecco.
It's yeah.
It's a wine.
What? Prosecco is a wine.
Prosecco.
Prosecco is who knows what
I don't
that
know.
is. What was that? What's that other medication he shouts just randomly
I don't
on
know.
occasion? Not Azo. When we say Azo, we're talking about
Red pea.
David. Yeah,
Yeah.
Murphree. We're talking about. I don't. Have you talked to Hawk lately? By the way,
Mm-mm.
at all?
Well, I just see him at lunch a little
I
bit.
mean, he's in you're his department head.
Yeah, but I see him at lunch.
So you admit
Every now
you're
and then.
his department head?
Yeah.
You're his
Well,
department head. You're not.
He is Paul's department head.
Should I know something?
He's not your department head then.
Huh.
Yeah, he's. What did I say?
He's your department, as in saying Hawk is your department head. You are his
Yes.
department
Yeah.
head.
Yes.
Is there something going on I should know?
Yeah, I thought you heard about that new testing thing.
Uh.
Oh. You didn't?
Mm.
I didn't either.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
So I almost got fired earlier this week.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
Hey, look, he walks into the coach's office yesterday. And goes, "Hey, I almost got fired."
Yeah, I almost did. Well, I felt like I could have been in a sense had somebody taken the wrong way.
I mean, the story lends itself to yeah. I mean, one would think that you would have gotten fired. You know,
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, look who I just spoke into existence.
What'd you do?
You can't see it.
Well, we had to order a
Paul
part.
Hawk calling me. Can't answer Paul.
We had to order a part, and basically we ordered an ink pen and got a pencil. Like they both do the same thing, but one's rated for one thing and one's rated for another. And comes to find out that the company that we ordered the part from mislabeled what we got, so they corrected the paperwork and everything was avoided. I think he's calling me. If he's calling me, I'm answering this phone. Nope, it's my wife.
It's your wife. It's your wife. You're not going to answer it?
Do you want me to?
You would answer Paul Hall,
Answer
not your
I'll-
wife.
Answer it.
Yeah, I guess I do need to.
Put her on her speaker, but make sure she's aware she's on the podcast.
You are live on the podcast right now, sweetie. I've answered the phone. We are recording right now.
But why?
Because I have a bone to pick with you about calling me out for my pretty little baby feet.
I brought it up, Carrie. I brought it up.
How do you know?
Why you told me to bring it up?
So, you're on the way home? Okay. Do you want to say anything else live on the podcast? Your podcast debut? Debut?
It's a 10.
It's a 10?
It's a 10. Stay in it. It's a 10.
All right. I'll see you soon. I love you.
Shout out to Sidney Childers and Mitchell Hale.
Mitchell Hale listens?
Talked to him the other day over at the county shop. He says he follows us on TikTok.
Does he listen? Or does
He said he listened to some episodes.
Oh, okay. Well, shout out. I see Mitchell all the time. I didn't know it. I knew he saw us on TikTok, but I didn't know if he listened or not. So, do you know Mitchell?
No.
Is it Kevin's?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's oldest boy. Kevin Hale.
Mm-hmm.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor. So, I've got to know, because it's been a topic of conversation.
Onomatopoeia.
There
Okay.
in the coach's office. Have you ever seen Lord of the Rings?
No.
Have you ever read Lord of the Rings?
No, I'm not going to.
Have you? No. Not seen read. Have you
No.
read? I know you haven't seen.
No.
So you haven't consumed any Lord of the Rings, and neither have you.
No.
Are either of you ever going to?
The book?
Either or.
I'll watch the movies eventually. Basically, Hammy said I had to.
You gonna watch the show?
No.
You're not?
No.
Ever?
Nope.
Why?
Too woke.
The show?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah, it's terrible from what I hear.
I watched the first 2 episodes and haven't experienced it. It might get woke this episode. I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I haven't seen the 3rd episode came out today, so I don't know.
I just really don't have time to like invest in anything. Like Carrie and I, we were talking about the new Game of Thrones that's come out, and
That's gonna be my next question.
like I will watch it eventually, but just the time of the year. Currently, it's football season, so like my extra time outside of work and home is football right now, and I just really don't have the time. Whereas like your extra time is school, and then you get away from school. Like I can't. My work day is longer than your school day, and then I throw football on top of it, so that kind of takes up what little bit of free time I would have.
Yeah, like.
But she wanted to start it this week, and I said, "Look, I can't start it. I
I've got to have an
invest in it."
escape, and so my escape day is Saturday.
Yeah, I got football right now for that. So
See, you're talking about college football.
college football.
See, college football, but I've got to have an escape from like everything. You know, I've got to get, because so much of my life during the week is football, is school. You know, like, I mean, you and I, we pulled what, an 85-hour work week last week,
About that, sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Home game's gonna be. I added it up one time. Home game. That's you dead on. It's 84, 85.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Because
like,
you gotta get the field ready.
yeah, and that's
gonna add to your hours.
and see,
What,
that's
it's better
that's the
off
hardest
playing an
part.
away game. That's gonna be an 80-hour week
Yeah.
right there.
You know, the
probably.
only
Away
thing
game.
I don't, obviously the travel, but the one thing I don't like about an away game, and it's so like very minute that I shouldn't let it bother me, but the one thing that I absolutely despise on an away game is the chain gang, because they're always in the way.
Yeah, I do.
That's
hate
the
that.
one thing I hate
do
about
hate
away
that.
games more. Like, yeah, you forget stuff and you got to pack everything up. You got to take a bus and it's a late night home. But the one thing out of all that just really gets under my skin is the stinking chain gang.
Because you're
trying to focus
Get out of the
here, and
way.
these guys are like, "Watch out, guys! Chain gang coming through."
That is annoying, and I didn't realize how annoying that was until
I didn't know.
My
I didn't realize
second
until
year.
last year. Yeah,
my second
first
year. Because that was the year that I really started to signal plays, and I mean, you got to be
where they can
present,
see you,
yeah, and so
right in front of them. Yeah,
yeah, but you can't be out there on the field, so there's this zone you got to stick to.
Mhm.
Well, they just happen to exist in that zone.
in that zone, exactly.
You
And
can
it's
get
horrible.
into some pretty bad situations with a chain gang.
Yeah, you can.
Coaches
Yeah.
and chain gang
Yeah.
folks.
Mickey Farmer's story about the chain gang. When Mickey was on the chain gang, Mickey Farmer, he was
Herschel Walker just called me.
Really?
He sent me a message. Yeah, how about that?
Nice.
probably
Yeah.
wants you to.
Oh,
Never mind.
Political message. Go ahead.
Yep. But is Raphael Warnock gonna call you?
Probably so.
Herschel's still the greatest running back to ever play the game, in my opinion. I'm sorry, like not to get off on a tangent, but to get off on a tangent.
I gotta agree with you there.
He was just the best to ever do it. And I tell you one that I think that I've really started to get a lot of. No,
I don't think he is.
okay, who's yours?
Hey, you got Walter Payton and Earl Campbell. And
I'm talking about.
all them people.
I'm
in
talking
there?
about college more than anything.
Okay.
But I tell you the one that I'm really starting
What
to
about
get
Bo
more.
Jackson?
Bo Jackson's the greatest athlete of all
Bo Jackson's
time,
the
but
greatest athlete.
I agree with him. I think Herschel Walker's the best at that position in college.
Yeah.
I think Bo Jackson.
But I tell you, I've started to really get
Herschel Walker's the best.
a real affinity for Barry Sanders in college because that guy.
Dude, that Joker.
I heard
you
a
watch
story the
film?
other day.
Holy crap!
So Thurman Thomas
Yeah.
was at Oklahoma State at the same
Mhm.
time, and they prayed like the defense. They go 1-on-1, and the defense coordinator would publicly say, "I prayed that Thurman Thomas would stay in all the time because we did not want to tackle Barry Sanders because we
Yeah.
couldn't tackle him." Like, can you imagine having that kind of depth? Like two Hall of Famers like that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
he was amazing.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders. Now, we're gonna have to finish something though. Lord of the Rings.
yeah, I know
Your
yeah.
story about
So,
the
I was just about to-
parts. You never finished that either. We don't
Parts?
know.
Oh no, yeah, he
Bet you
finished
don't-
it.
But what happened? You said you got one was a pen and one was a pencil. What happened?
The company that made the part came back and said, "This here that is actually a pencil can also be used as a pen. We changed the paperwork and it's good." So I didn't get
So
fired.
you're good.
So I'm good
Okay.
He has a job still.
by the skin of my
They
teeth.
just packaged it
But it
wrong.
wasn't my fault. Like we ordered what we were supposed to get. We didn't.
Yeah.
We were not supplied what we ordered.
Yeah, you just packaged that was packaged. Amazon did that to me. Packaged something wrong. Campbell's soups. I got it.
Chicken and wild rice, and you got
Well, no, it was supposed to be beefy mushroom, a whole 12 pack of beefy mushroom. But when I got it, it was chicken gumbo, and so we sent a message
They
to
make
them.
chicken gumbo.
Well, I needed beefy mushroom to cook with.
yeah.
But then they sent me that chicken gumbo, so we messaged them, and I didn't figure they'd want food back. So they said, okay, we'll just send you another 12-pack. And when I got the new 12-pack that was supposed to be beefy mushroom, it was chicken gumbo again. So I got 24 cans of chicken gumbo, no beefy mushroom. I just gave up after that.
Hey, if you if there's a good canned food drive,
Dadgummit, I needed my beefy mushroom.
Yeah, I'm having to use beef bouillon cubes. I don't have
love a
any beefy
beef
mushroom.
bouillon.
Who doesn't like beef bouillon?
What do you use your beefy mushroom on?
I fix
Like hamburger
cube
steaks?
steak. Yeah,
Okay.
cube steak. I brown it,
okay,
and then I'll put cream of mushroom, onion. What's that onion
Powder?
soup? No, the onion,
Onion
soup.
soup.
Oh,
yeah. French onion
Cream
soup.
of French onion, cream of mushroom, beefy mushroom, and golden mushroom
Light of mushroom.
on there.
Okay.
But I didn't have any beefy mushroom.
Like with rice and whatever. or
Well,
mashed
yeah, you could eat it
potatoes
with
or
anything.
whatever.
It's good. It makes a good gravy. You can
Yeah.
eat anything with it.
So you're a
Mashed
shroom
potato.
guy.
Well, yeah, I'll eat mushrooms. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I'm just okay with mushrooms.
I love grilled mushrooms.
I'm not going to do the stuff. I'm not going to do what you're getting at with the mushrooms. I'll eat. The
What do you mean?
mushrooms.
I'm talking about grilled mushrooms. I
Okay.
love grilled mushrooms.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Do you like grilled mushrooms?
Yeah, I like mushrooms.
Secondary mushrooms. I don't know why.
I don't know. We don't know
Where
either.
where's that from?
I don't know.
He just
I
did
just
it. I don't
did
think
it.
it's a bit.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not
he
a
just
bit.
But if
he
y'all
just-
want me to fix some chicken gumbo sometime,
You got 24
Yeah, I got-
cans.
I got
in
24
here.
cans of
When
it.
do they
yeah.
expire?
I don't know. I need to start eating them. I guess. couple years.
Hey,
I'm sure.
I saw something the other day that I thought was hilarious. Some company was selling like, what? Because
There you
I've
go.
started another story.
Yeah, yeah.
We got to finish this Lord of the Rings. What now? Some company selling what?
And don't forget, I got a Mickey Farmer story. I was in the middle of it.
Hey, that
Oh, yeah.
shirt he had on Facebook on his birthday, that Goodwrench, red Goodwrench, that was a sweet shirt.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I saw a company that was selling
It's
salt
red.
that's like from 25,000 BC or something, but it had an expiration date on it. I thought that was kind of funny. It's like old salt that's like 4 millennia years old, but yeah, it's got an expiration date of like 2 years from now. Like,
Well,
Are they
you could have
legally
just
required-
used salt to preserve it.
technically,
Are they legally required to put an expiration date?
yeah,
on
because
every
I don't
edible-
think
consumable thing?
Yoo-Hoo for a long time had an expiration date, and I think the story was always Twinkies,
Twinkies,
as
yeah.
well, but I think they kind of started having to put that on everything.
Yeah.
I just
Legally.
usually taste it, see what it tastes like.
Yeah,
What if
Look,
it's down
we-
to date?
We've been guilty of using out of date Powerade powder before.
shh, we're in season. You can't say that.
I said before. I didn't say
Yeah.
yesterday.
How far out of date?
Like a year.
Too.
But what's going to happen to the powder? It's sealed up in a package.
Yeah, as long as I don't know. I've seen canned food like a can of raviolis like we forgot that we had be completely like dried up inside. It's
Yeah.
weird. Like how does it get dry? I don't know. You almost just want to just add water to it and see what happens.
Somebody's gonna take a hold of that audio, but
Yeah, Nick Wilson with his TikTok.
but I don't like. We opened it and checked for like mold, and it was fine. And then we mixed it up and tasted it. It was fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't
We
worry about
drank
that
it.
powder so much.
Yeah.
I mean the powder. I mean, yeah.
Mickey Farmer.
So he's standing there on the sideline at a game, running the chain gang when
Mhm.
Alex was in school, playing football, and we're playing Glencoe. This is when Oz was at Osment. Lee Osment was at Glencoe. And they were killing folks, and they were in our region. And anyway, they're killing us, and it's towards the end of the game, and he gets into it with the official, and they're going back and forth.
Osment?
Osment
Okay.
gets into it with the official. They're going back and forth, and then Osment walks up to Mickey, who's running the chain gang, who's on Glencoe's sideline, even though it's at Asheville. Osment crosses his arms, takes his headset off, looks at Mickey, and goes, "I'm out here to make a living. Trying to make a living." And then he points to the ref, the official. He goes, "He's out here to make beer money." That's the story.
It's not a not true statement. It's not a false statement.
That's a true story.
I knew a guy that used to.
I love the reaction. I'm
That's-
so glad y'all love that.
Well, I'm still taking it in. Well, you got me thinking about officials now, and the conversations we've had about the not enough officials
Yeah.
and the money they make.
Yeah.
Which
I was
they
just
do make
processing.
decent money,
ish.
but they don't make
enough to put up with the crap they got to put up with. Sometimes.
enough to get better at what they do. They make
That's true.
enough to do it.
to make beer money.
They don't make enough for them to hone their craft. And
Sure.
some of them you can tell.
Oh yeah.
I got to be careful what I say, but
I used to know a guy that would umpire softball games, and it's been known that you could provide him with a case of beer and he'll call it in your favor.
I mean, that happens all over the world
It does.
in many different scenarios.
It does.
Many different scenarios. Have you ever bribed anybody?
Tell your Lord of the Rings story, and I'll think about it.
Okay. So I was just wondering. That's all. If y'all had seen Lord of the Rings, I was just wondering.
I thought the story was
well-
done too.
Yeah. I mean, well, I was gonna lead into but you kind of already answered it, and I know what his answer is gonna be.
Yeah.
But House of the Dragon,
Okay.
you're not gonna watch it.
I'm not going to watch
You're not
it
watching it currently.
currently.
As of the recording of this episode, I'm watching it.
Clint will pay his $9.99 a month during the fall or during the
Winter.
winter when it's cold and it's rainy and there's nothing to do, and we will binge watch all 10
plenty to do.
episodes.
Nashville Wrestling's gonna be in season.
Okay.
You can go watch us beat the crap out of everybody.
Well, Maze is going to have basketball as well,
Oh, that's right.
but my point being, just there's going to be days when you're at home not doing anything that I can binge watch it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good. Highly recommend it. But so your answer?
Well, I'm sure I have, but
What was my question?
like have I ever bribed anybody?
Okay,
But not anything like for a job or a win or something like that. But I mean, if you got kids, you probably bribed your kid to
Clean your room and give you some ice cream.
do
It's
something.
technically a bribe.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have something like that, but not anything major. Of course, I don't make the money to.
I bribed my wife. I told her I'd wash the dishes. Well, I can't say that.
Yeah,
that's
stay
probably
away
not-
from
yeah.
that. But I guess yes, but nothing
but
huge,
not,
nothing big.
not in a serious like.
No, not serious.
Like, and I don't. When I say bribe, it doesn't have to be illegal. For it
Not
be
to do
considered a bribe.
somebody else wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, next door neighbor, I'll give you 8 watermelons if you cut my grass.
That's not a bribe.
Or 8, I don't know why.
You're just paying him
Yeah.
to cut your grass.
Okay.
You're paying him in watermelons.
Okay, hey next
You're
door
terrible
neighbor.
at this.
Hey next door neighbor, you work for the water company. I'll give you 8 watermelons to come and
Lessen my bill or something
yeah,
like that.
Okay.
fix my meter.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Check my
That's
meter.
a bribe. Good job.
Yeah, I've never done that.
You've never done anything like that.
Now my water was off last
What?
night. The water people. Evidently, there was a couple of leaks in the.
In the system.
You know
It was
what would
this
solve that?
Oh well.
Oh well.
Well, you still could have a leak, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You could, but it'd be your leak
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
you could fix your leak.
But it wasn't my leak. It wasn't on me. It was. But here's the thing about it. They dug it up, and I driving to work this morning in the dark, leaving this morning, and it's just solid mud across the road, and I run right through it. It's just mud all down the side of the car.
that beautiful baby blue 1996
98 Escort,
98 Ford Escort.
But I did call my wife when I got to work and told her, don't
Sport
go
edition.
that way. Don't
There you
drive
go.
through there.
There you go. Good
Don't
husband.
drive through
Ford
there.
edition.
My car?
Yeah.
This is ZX2.
ZX2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a video on TikTok of us in his.
Yeah,
ZX2.
did you get your mirror fixed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I glued it on there with
Nice.
Gorilla Glue. Yes, I got a sports car at 98 Coupe, 98 Escort, ZX2.
2-door baby.
Yes, a
Two-door,
ZX2 with a Gorilla Glued side
Right,
mirror. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Side
mirror.
Passenger side
Mhm.
mirror.
Don't
Yep.
lean on it.
Yeah.
Don't slam the door hard.
Don't breathe on the car or it'll roll away. That's how small it is. You know, the funniest thing in school was watching him pull up in that Escort he had. Or was it that 96 Hyundai Accent
When you were in school?
when I was in school?
No,
Which one
probably
was
an 87 Escort.
Yeah,
So
the
what-
87.
it? So, okay, so you had the Escort forever. Then you
Ever.
went to the 96 Hyundai Accent. And then to the Ford Escort. Or the Ford...
Well, I think I bought that 98 Escort first, and I was going to drive it back and forth to work, but then my wife totaled her the Suzu Rodeo, so she started driving it.
That's
Then
right,
I
she
had to
did
get
drive
me something else to drive, so that's when I bought that Hyundai.
10th anniversary edition.
Yeah, 10th anniversary. Yeah, 96.
10th, 96, 86, 96.
96,
So
yeah.
what happened to the Escort?
Well, I sold it for $100, but I think somebody stole it and took it to the scrapyard. I didn't have the heart to take it to the scrapyard. I think somebody stole it after I sold it and took it to the scrapyard.
For $100.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
bought a car for $400 one time.
I bought a car for $1,000 one time. I mean, hey, I know a guy that bought a Prius for $1,000 one time. And
Good,
he
'cause
took
that's all it's worth.
he took that thing mud riding. It floated. He put
all
he
it-
stacked limbs on top of it. Rode around.
Prius
Yeah.
floated.
Floated, baby,
With
over
all
the mud.
its-
It
with-
didn't get bogged down and had just enough torque from those electric motors to just glide right over the mud in the pasture, baby.
Oh, okay.
Dude, they took
Because
it
that's
mud
what I'm
riding.
going to do. That reminds me of a Simpsons episode where they take an electric car and they ride right through the salt water. And it comes out, it just corrodes.
It just corrodes
and they
and
take
falls
it back to the dealership and get their money back on it. Like, it was weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird setup for a Simpsons episode, but still.
Speaking of
Simpsons?
you know, they talk about Conan O'Brien being one of the more famous writers to come from the Simpsons or come out of the Simpsons, and all the crazy stuff that he would do in the writers' room on the Fox lot.
Yeah.
Back in sort of the heyday of The Simpsons when he was
When
one
it
of the
was
writers
good.
there.
I
Yeah, he
said
was
it.
there early on, like seasons 2 or 3 through like 8 or something like that.
Yeah, it might have been like 3 through 8, but it's in that
Yeah.
general neighborhood, 4 through 8.
Right before it sort of fell off.
Yeah.
He left, and it was maybe 1 or 2 seasons. Then it kind of, according to you anyway, it kind of fell off. I've never watched a whole Simpsons episode.
Look, if I watch Lord of the Rings, will you watch one complete? If I pick one season of The Simpsons,
Absolutely,
okay, all right.
Conan wrote, didn't he write for Saturday Night Live?
he did.
And then he
for a
went to
minute.
The Simpsons. A little bit. When he left late night, well, I was just done with late night.
You know, he's got a good podcast out
Yes.
right now.
I don't. All them late night shows when he left,
I'm not a bit. I'm not into it either.
I
I-
don't watch any of them. I just watch that. I watch Gutfeld.
But now, isn't he coming out with a 30-minute late night show on HBO?
Well, he's supposed to, but I hadn't checked into it. I don't know. He's supposed to.
I haven't
I don't know.
looked for it. I don't know.
I hadn't checked. He's supposed to do something on HBO.
Now, the segments that he did with what's that guy? Oh, he loved going to Italy.
That producer and all
the
that
the
stuff.
associate producer.
Yeah, they're still supposed to do some of those, and that's
That
supposed to
was
be
hilarious.
Yeah, that's supposed to be on
Andy-
TNT or TBS.
No,
Whatever. it was
not
on.
Andy Richter. That was his
Yeah,
sidekick.
that other guy.
What was that associate producer's name?
I'll think about it in a little while. They're supposed to do some of the, more of those for TBS, I guess. I don't remember.
They were hilarious. Because the guy, he loved Italy, and they went to
Yeah,
Italy and they
yeah.
did all those short episodes, and you kind of wonder if that was an actor, if that was serious. Do you think he was being serious?
I don't know. Probably. I thought he was.
I wanted to say his name's like Robbie or Ryan or
I'll think about it later. I'll think of it.
Hey, do y'all have
Ricardo.
any little things that like bug you to the point like you have to fix them right then? Like I just picked a hair off Nick's shirt. Like, do you ever just go up to random people and just pull hairs off their shirt because it bugs you, or like anything of that nuance?
is something wrong? Do we sound okay? I don't have anything that bothers me like that. Not really. I mean, when it comes to
Or like a shirt collar being
that bothers me. Like
Right.
if a
or a
shirt
tag.
if a shirt collar is up and it's not right, I've got to fix
Yeah.
it. Like I've got
Like
when
your
we were-
OCD comes up a little bit because you fix mine quite a bit because I'm fat and it likes to roll up.
when we were headed to Etowah.
Yeah, I'm fat and it rolled up.
No,
Oh,
no, not
okay.
you.
Okay.
Our police escort, his collar was up, and I'm like, hey, Bane, come here, brother. Like,
Hey man, this is gonna sound weird. Can I fix your collar?
yeah, and never mind.
Well, I go around the house turning stuff off, like lights and TVs and stuff. That bothers me when people leave. And
That
they're not
bothers
in
me-
there
that bothers
using
me too,
TVs
yeah.
and lights and stuff like that.
My parents do that all the time. All the time. So
I'm
walking around
guilty
cutting
of it,
everything
but it bothers me too to an extent. Like I will open up a cabinet door and get like a cup out, and I'll leave the door open just
See, that bothers
subconsciously.
me, yeah.
But like if I go to my mom's, I get it from my mother. I know who I get it from because you can go to her house and every stinking cabinet door is open, and I'll go sit there just shutting them. She's like, "Why are you shutting all my doors? Like you want them open?" But yeah, then Carrie go behind me. She's like, "You're just like your mother."
Well, the TV and lights could be on all over the house, and everybody in the house is asleep, and I'll still yell in there, Are y'all finished in here? You want me to turn this stuff off?
What a dadism! What a
You're such a
dadism!
dad.
Yeah.
All right, I'll turn it off.
Yep, I get it.
You
know.
say that.
Yeah, I just ask, are y'all finished in here?
So
Everything to your liking?
is your sense of humor, does it stem from the fact that you want to make yourself laugh? Is that why you say things and do things the way that you do, or is it because you're trying to make somebody else laugh?
No, I'm pretty irritated by that time because I'd like to go to bed too.
Well, I mean but that's
And they just leave all that for me to do.
but that's funny
Everybody-
though.
Oh, well, maybe to other people, not to me at that time.
So why
I'm not hee-heeing about it
why
at the time.
will you hee haw?
At Asheville one time, the PTA or PTO, they put on an actual hee-haw show
Oh, God,
up in
that's
the elementary gym. I remember going to it. I was about 5 or 6 years old.
I don't know the words. What were the words to when they sang the old
Yeah.
guy with the banjo?
They put on a real live hee-haw. Up
You
there.
should do that.
You know what I'm saying?
We should do that.
Down
That would be
by
funny.
not down by the Green River. That's Paradise by John Prine. But you know the guy, the banjo, the farmer, the corn.
Yeah,
he
old
sings a
Roy
song,
Clark and Buck Owens, they
They
would
have
do
a
them.
guest and they sing.
Yeah.
And I just spit everywhere. I'm sorry, but he does that, That part, that bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Who is that guy?
Buck Owens and Roy Clark.
Is that it?
I'm a picking and I'm a grinning deal.
Is that it? Is that
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but they put on a hee-haw up there. But no, I'm not hee-hawing laughing about that when everybody's in bed and I'm turning everything off.
So
to
why
bed.
say that? If you know they're not going to hear you.
Well, just to irritate them.
Oh, so they
to
do
make
hear
them
you.
to make them aware that hey, you should have turned this off.
Well, it's
if
kind of
you're
like back in
finished
the
with it.
day, I'm not paying to cool the outside, close the door.
Yeah.
Or you raised in the barn, close the door.
Yeah.
Dad used to do the same thing with us. He'd go through and start turning the lights off. He's like, y'all don't pay the
Power bill.
That's
There's
what
an
I'm
adjective
thinking.
in
Yeah.
there, but y'all don't pay the power bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
when I'm turning everything off. When it gets left on. Bill. Yeah.
I'm just a bill. I'm just a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol
Schoolhouse Rock?
Hill. Yeah.
I hate that. It freaks me out.
What? The bill talking?
The
It's
whole,
a cartoon.
The whole show. It was like so 70s.
Yeah.
It's just bothered.
How do you think I learned my 3 timetables? It's from Schoolhouse Rock.
Seriously?
Man and a woman had a little baby. Yes, they did. They had 3 in the family. It's a magic number. 3, 6, 9.
I watched
12,
Dragon
15,
Tales on
18.
PBS.
You-
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I remember all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about, though. I remember watching that and Super Friends. That's about it.
Super Friend, Super Five.
Super Friends with Spider-Man.
Recommendations.
I got one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You ready?
No,
No?
go.
All right. Recently, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection came out for your main game systems. I'm really stoked about it. It's really good. It's got 13 games on it. 13 retro games.
Was that what you and Hammy were talking about that one time?
No, I think we were talking about the newest Ninja Turtle game. So they came out with a new one.
Which
and
you've
then
already
this-
recommended.
Right.
But I thought Hammy brought that up at one point, that they were going to do that collection deal.
Well, we knew they were going to do the collection. I think he brought up that it was coming out like
Okay,
within the
gotcha,
week,
gotcha.
which
Yeah.
was like last week. I think it came out.
when we were watching football.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So for those of you that care at this point of my recommendation, if you ever played the original Nintendo games, you had Ninja Turtles 1, 2, 3, and then there was also a Tournament Fighter game that come out. So all 4 of those are on it. Then you've got Turtles 4 for Super Nintendo, which is the best Turtles game ever, in many people's opinion, including myself. And then the fighting game on it. Then there was the one on Genesis and a fighting game on it. The 2 arcade games and the 3 Game Boy games for a total of 13 games. Highly recommend if you do that kind of thing.
You want me to go? Or
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
absolutely. I'm looking at you.
I'm just gonna go here in the corner and sit and
Yeah,
cry.
that's a good recommendation.
Thanks.
It sounds like a pretty good deal.
It is. I think it's.
Way to be kind.
It sounds like it's a pretty good deal. I'm not going to do it. But
It sounds good.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm doing it, but it sounds good.
All right. All right. On Netflix. I had COVID a couple weeks
That was
ago.
the nicest thing you could come up with about that. It sounds like a good deal.
It does.
So anyway, I had COVID.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I finally got it. And so I was off for a little while, and I watched on Netflix something called Trainwreck. It's Woodstock 99.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I guess I would recommend it. It's kind of bad, I guess, but it's crazy. It was like 3 parts to it, I think, and it was insane. All the stuff that went on. I learned a whole lot. I didn't even remember that happening.
Yeah, because
When did that happen?
99.
1999. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called Woodstock 99.
So it happened
Trainwreck.
in 99.
Yeah,
I
1999.
I don't know what you're talking about or what it's about. So
They try to recreate the Woodstock with like the era of music that was at that time. I
Mhm.
think Creed was there. I think Weezer might have been there. I think Limp Bizkit was there.
Yeah, now Limp Bizkit, that they were the second night,
Right.
and then the first night was Korn,
KORN.
and it got crazy.
Backwards K.
It got crazy that first night with
Yeah.
Korn. Now Limp Bizkit's when people started tearing the
Right.
stuff up.
Right.
The third night and the last night, which they were real worried about, was Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just really got out of control. But the whole thing was out of control.
Yeah, it wasn't like your Woodstock back in the day where it's peace and love. And we also all, fornicate and roll in the mud together. It was like, let's just go break and stuff.
It was violence and break and burn stuff down. It was crazy. And it was the guy that put on Woodstock, he was putting on this, too. And it's kind of strange, I think, after they made that documentary.
The farmer?
Well, not on that farm. The guy, I don't remember his name. The guy that actually put on the concert.
The promoter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that same guy. He was putting this on. And I guess they've tried to recreate Woodstock maybe 2 or 3 times.
They've tried, yeah.
Now, Woodstock 99, it just got out of control. Yeah. And after they made that documentary, I think he died like 2 months later. The guy, the promoter.
How old's the documentary?
99. I think it's
title.
I think it's pretty recent.
I think it is recent.
I think it's pretty recent, but it was crazy.
So it's only like a couple years old.
Probably so.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty recent.
If that, yeah.
I'm gonna go with a recommendation. That's a good recommendation. It's a good deal.
It's good.
It's interesting. Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to try to do that Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Hey, if you do, the game's only $39.99 for 13 games. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do that. It's like a pretty good deal.
Okay.
I'm a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, but only from the movies series.
Can I play those in my VCR?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, if there were video cassettes, you could, but this current game, no, sir.
I may still buy them anyway.
Okay.
Just have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a Switch? Nintendo Switch? The girls have a Switch?
No.
Oh, okay.
I love that we're sort of in the 90s zone
Who?
with our recommendations. He's making a recommendation about something that happened in 1999.
Yeah, but he's making a recommendation about a documentary that just come out not too long ago. It just happened to be set in 99. God, Nick, it's not that old.
Anyway, and yours is also set in the 90s from retro
No, it's
games.
not. It's a brand new game that just come out last week that happens to have games that come out from the 90s.
Well, mine was actually made in the 90s. It's a song.
God, nobody wants to hear this old crap.
It's a song about Jesus.
Oh, no. You can't do that.
No, I'm being dead serious.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I'm being serious. It's called seriously. It's called "He Lives in You" by Lebo M.
Oh, wow.
From the Lion King soundtrack in 1994, and it's actually technically a complimentary album, but Lebo M did a lot of the vocal work on that score and that soundtrack for the movie The Lion King, the animated version from 94, and
it's still not Be Prepared.
When you listen to, I learned a cool fact about Be Prepared.
Be Prepared is still the best song on that album. And opinions are like, what.
Well, that song you're talking about, was it played in the movie Lion King? Is that what you're talking about?
It's played. So
it's like a supplement.
The
to the
instrumental.
movie.
The instrumental is what you hear. You don't actually hear the lyric version, but the lyric version is really good. It's real. It's powerful. It's a powerful song, but
it's referring to Mufasa living.
For the context of the film,
yes.
But
the actual
Lebo
history
M
of the song.
Yeah, it's Lebo M has stated it's not necessarily a Christian song, but it is meant to be a spiritual song, is what he says.
Right, Christian undertones.
But when you listen, me as a Christian, when you listen to the lyrics, it's hard to. Anyway, so Be Prepared. Jeremy Irons, who, by the way, will forever be the only Scar, the best Scar. No offense to Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh, I'm offending him because he was terrible.
I'm offended. I didn't like him. His voice was too soft to be
kind of like
Scar.
you, Nick.
You just he said yeah.
Hey,
By the way, shout out to our new interns Coby and Nick. So shout out to you guys. You get a shout out on the podcast.
Hey, that new
Jake's not here. Aaron's here.
That new Christian movie by the Kendrick brothers, it's coming out this weekend. I don't remember the name of it though. It's just gonna be this weekend though. Y'all know those movies the Kendrick brothers made, but like Fireproof and Courageous and all. They got a new one out this weekend.
They also didn't they make the football one? Facing the
Greater.
Giants?
Oh, not Greater.
It seemed like they made Flywheel. I think that's the first one they made. Flywheel.
Isn't it
and
Facing
then
the Giants?
Yeah.
I don't know if they made that one or not. I know they made Flywheel,
Did they make
Courageous, and they made
Nobody's
Fireproof.
gonna get that.
Hey, now Fireproof. I think that may be one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Fireproof's a good movie.
That
The
Fire-
reason
you
I
seen it?
ask is the
Yeah, I
guy,
think so.
one of the main characters in Fireproof is the head coach in Facing the Giants. It's the same actor.
Well, Kirk Cameron and his wife is in this. You know, he was in Fireproof. Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron.
And him and his wife both going to be in this. New
I think that's who I'm talking about. It's Kirk Cameron. Am I?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
him? Is that who
Yeah.
I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
one. All those movies are good. I mean, they're good, guys.
In some things he's like a really good actor, and in other things he's not.
How about you? You looked at his.
What was I gonna say about Be Prepared, real quick?
I don't know. Say it.
Oh,
Be prepared.
Jeremy Irons would smoke in between. He smoked in the voice recording studio in London where he recorded his lines for the film, and so that's why his voice sounded the way that it did on Be Prepared, because he smoked. But Jim Cummings, does anybody know in here who Jim Cummings is? Who's Jim Cummings? Okay, so you don't know. Winnie the Pooh. He voices Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
bother.
Yeah, he plays Ed, the hyena, in the Lion King.
Does he?
And voices the main "Be Prepared" chorus line for Jeremy Irons on "Be Prepared." So when you hear "Be Prepared," it's Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Irons does the rest of the song. But Jeremy Irons would smoke in between takes.
Piglet.
Can you do an Eeyore? Do you do a good Eeyore?
I do a great Eeyore.
All right, James Thompson.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Somebody's got my tail.
What about
My house is inside out, 3 blocks down.
do Piglet? Can you do Piglet?
I can't do Piglet.
What about the rabbit? Rabbit, is that his name?
That's his name. Is
Rabbit.
Yeah, I can't do.
What about
Rabbit.
Tigger? Jim Cummings does Tigger too.
Really?
Yeah.
So Pooh and Tigger are the
Did
same
you
person.
ever see the movie about Tigger? Where Tigger dives into where he came from
No.
and who his family is?
No.
Saddest thing ever. Like I remember watching it as like a 7-year-old multiple times trying to figure out what is this movie about? Because it's one of those movies he doesn't actually find his family. He realizes
That's
that
sad, man.
he
Way
realizes
to end the podcast on a sad note, Nick Wilson.
I'm trying to. He realizes that Winnie the Pooh and Piglet
Are
Rabbit,
his family.
and are his family.
How sappy is that?
That's what I said when I watched the movie. As a 7-year-old, I'm like, oh, that's sad. That's very sad. That's sad times. But yeah, how are we ending this? Do you have any other recommendations? What was your recommendation? That 99
Oh my gosh, that
corn.
Winstock 99. How do you?
Hey, they were in.
Way to not pay any attention. David, I'm so sorry he doesn't pay attention.
He
to
never
you.
does. But it takes me so long to get to the. He always just tones me out. It takes me so long to get to the recommendation.
99. What was it? Fireproof 99.
Woodstock.
Woodstock 99.
Fireproof time. He didn't buy the boat. He didn't buy the boat. He paid the medical bills.
Oh gosh. Okay. I guess that means we got to end it. Anything else we got to clear the air for before we cut this thing? Before. Oh. Is that it?
Prepositions? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Adjectives. Nouns.
War
verbs.
Eagle. Roll
Go
Tide.
dogs.
Etc. Etc.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Go Pack Go.
As you can tell, we're rusty because it's been a while. But
It has
thank you
been a while.
for listening to us, watching us. Don't forget you can watch us on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. We're a part of a new podcast channel, right? Lens.
Yeah.
Lens. Go ahead and subscribe to Lens.
Please do, because when
Our-
you do, we get money and we can replace whatever Aaron just broke or whatever new Nick just broke.
Yeah, Hansen. Technically.
Life Mark is the name of that movie. Life Mark. Life Mark.
You just bobbed right before it. Life Mark.
Life Mark.
I may go see it. I may go see it this weekend.
Life Mark. What's Life Mark about?
Life Mark.
This
Oh.
not a sponsor.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with
mark
saving
on the
somebody's life. I think
Oh,
The
well,
mark on your life. I said it. I said
Life Mark.
But don't forget to subscribe to Lens on Apple Podcasts, where you can listen to exclusive episodes and bonus content like Triple Threat from Talk or Go Home, and all of our sister podcasts like Guess What, Coach, and some other shows that we're going to be unveiling over the next year. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun. If you're a Spotify person, you still can subscribe to Triple Threat, all of our bonus
Please do.
exclusive episodes, 99 cents a month. go ahead and do that on Spotify. But,
Hey, but that's going to be the only place you can watch the episode.
other than YouTube,
Other than
you can watch the episodes on YouTube.
you can watch the triple thread.
No, not you're talking
Yeah,
about Triple
I'm
Threats.
talking
Yeah,
Triple Threat.
Triple Threats the only place you can
Yeah.
listen. No, Triple Threats the only place you can watch the episode. Lens, you can listen to the episode along with other exclusive content from other Lens shows.
So if you are a podcast person, strictly a podcast person, Lens might be the best way to go
on Apple Podcasts.
But if you enjoy the film adaptation of
if
what
you
we
enjoy
do,
seeing our ugly faces, then you can
subscribe.
Subscribe. Subscribe. We got to end this. We're not talking. Go ahead.
Talk or go
Free.
home.
Free.
Free. Ate too much
Anchor.
corn. Ate too much corn. Talk or go home.
Stay in it. Stay in it.
Have we ended this? I
Yeah,
think we ended
did.
it. Okay.
He said it. Talk or go home.
Bop.